I got a call from one of my buddies in the fire brigade, and he calls me and he goes, "Hey dude, just letting you know, where are you at?" And I'm here, I'm at my house. He's like, "You have 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
You have 15 minutes, this thing's in your face, nothing is stopping it. If you stay, you may not live."
His house got saved. Down the street, you'll see up here, burned.
Oh my God.
These guys are working 24/7.
Oh man, I can't imagine they're gonna be non-stop for a long, long time.
And this whole side burned.
So that's your childhood home?
Right there, yeah.
You know, I heard a stat that 95% of all California wildfires were started by a human being.
Probably. I mean, it wouldn't shock me.
What have you heard from the neighbors when it comes to rebuilding something like this home or just anyone around your neighborhood?
I was in my driveway, just my brother, me, and Ava, my fiance, and I was in the driveway and said a prayer. I just go, "Lord, this is your home, you gave it to us. It's yours to take."
In today's video, we're heading over to Malibu to meet up with Dylan. He was born and raised out here and managed to help in saving his home and rescue 2 cats with his fiance during the devastating Palisades fire. We'll get to walk around to see what's left of his neighborhood, what's next for Malibu, and to hear his incredible story.
The whole park burned. A couple cars completely melted to the ground. Like, seriously, these literally were cars.
Oh my gosh.
These
They have
houses
them
all-
covered.
Yeah. It's just, it's, you know. Malibu's my house. Malibu's been my home for my entire life.
When did your family originally buy this house?
I think in
How
the
long
late
they had
80s.
it? 80s?
The late 80s.
Wow.
What people don't realize, like, a majority of the homes here in Malibu and Palisades are generational homes.
Yeah.
You know, grandpa or dad or mom or whoever bought the home 20 years ago for an affordable price. It's something that I hope I never have to experience. And I couldn't imagine wishing upon anybody or being happy someone's house burned down. You know, it's like, yeah, we're on these power lines. These guys are working 24/7.
Oh man, I can't imagine they're gonna be non-stop for a long, long time.
So when I came up the morning of, this was still all on fire. There's lines down on the road like this. And I'm trying to get up to my house as fast as possible so I can, 1, lay eyes on it to make sure it is still standing, and 2, fight and put fires out as quickly as I can. You know, so I didn't know what I was walking into. I didn't know what I was like. I did this pure adrenaline. Go, go, go. Get to the house.
This is just surreal, truly.
I'm shocked this guy's house didn't go up.
Yeah, why do you think it didn't?
The fire, I'll show you, and it blew right over the top of us. His house got saved. Down the street, you'll see up here, burned.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So this is my hillside. And this whole side burned.
So that's your childhood home?
Right there, yeah.
Wow.
So you can see already from the rains, the erosion that's happening.
Yeah, and is this the only street to access up here too?
One way in, one way out.
Oh wow.
These are trash cans.
Probably trash cans.
This is my trash
Look
cans.
at this. These are trash cans right here.
Usually you can hear the ocean on big surf days, which is normal, but now I could hear the waves all night because there's no houses blocking them.
So there used to be a house right here?
Huge fence right here. There was a house down there that burned down.
Yeah. Oh, so
Yeah,
that was their pool.
that was their pool.
And this home was obstructing your view from up there?
The trees and stuff,
Slightly?
kind of. But this huge fence that just, you know, blocks sound.
Interesting.
And then I can hear the ocean completely.
That is just absolutely devastating.
Like you can literally hear the tiny waves crashing. So this is my street. That's my poor mailbox.
No.
That just took one for the team. But so this right here, you can see these holes. These are all burn patches and stuff we had to dig out the morning of, just rip them out. And you know, his light melted down. But this we were literally putting those things out. Like on the side of this bush was on fire when I got here. That hole, I had to dig that out. That was on fire.
And why exactly did you have to dig out the holes?
People don't realize that a lot of times the roots are on fire. So they're burning deep down. And then that's what happens with a lot of fires, that you'll forget about it, ignore it, and then 3 days later, boom, goes right back up.
Yeah, and then it'll
So
just re-spark.
Yeah, you put it out and you'll see smoke coming out from the bottom of it, so you dig them out.
It's kind of like how they say this whole fire really even started was from the New Year's Eve firework that eventually re-sparked a week later.
Yep. I don't know, but we'll see. I hope that's the reason.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
For insurance purposes, right?
That, but also just, there's so many arson, people out there, and it's
so
just,
unfortunate.
It's horrible. But
I heard a stat that 95% of all California wildfires were started by a human being.
Probably. I mean, it wouldn't shock me, because you see where a lot of fires are. Like the Franklin fire started right next to Malibu Canyon Road. So it's probably from a car, someone throwing a cigarette out, a spark from a vehicle.
Unbelievable.
25 miles an hour, they can still fight the fires. It's still obtainable. At like 30 miles an hour plus, they turn into fire watchers because you can't fight that. Right. You can't catch it. It's moving too fast and it's burning too hot. So basically what they do is they call line chasing. I maybe called it wrong, but that's what I remember it's called, maybe line chasing, or someone can correct me on the internet, whatever. But basically they let the fire pass through and they go behind it and start putting out the stuff that's still standing and surviving. But, which is hard because, they're telling me stories, not them, but all other firemen, is that they'll put a house out on PCH or on the hill, and then they'll move down to a new house, they turn back around, and that one's back on fire again.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's just all the embers, and everything's just blowing. It's like, so they just got, their head handed to them, as anybody would when you're fighting 100 mile an hour, one of the largest natural disasters in California.
Right. Now you've lived here you said you grew up here, you've lived here in Malibu, born and raised your whole life. Have you ever seen a wind quite like we saw that Tuesday?
It's funny, is like, people have been talking about that. I've seen storms and stuff, but I've never experienced winds of that caliber before here. Right. And you'll see if you come on up.
Yeah, let's check it out.
So your question earlier about, rebuilding and kind of the next phases. Well, this house right here burned down in 1993. Oh. It never rebuilt. And so it's never rebuilt.
Whoa.
And this will be a majority of Malibu and Palisades. The night of, I was on my roof, spraying everything down, including this whole hillside.
So this is your house?
It's my house, and because, I don't know if because I sprayed it and got it soaked, none of this burned. Because literally on my hill, on my roof, just dousing this entire hillside. And as you can see, it burned everything else besides where we were.
So the fire, there were fires right along this side, right next to your home, just within feet?
So I'm on the roof, again, I taped up all my vents, which a lot of house fires and these type of fires start from inside. They'll get through a vent, open window, open door, under a garage, crack, and then burn it from inside the garage. Can't see it.
Yeah.
And once the garage is taken, the whole house must
That's what I've heard. Walk us through like your experience that you went through that entire day. Like, when did you first hear that there were fires? When did you come over here and try to do something about it? What was your just entire day like?
So I was at the office in town, and my fiance was working at work, and she texted me, hey, there's a fire in the Palisades. And, me, I'm like, oh, damn, it's pretty far away. I'm like, okay, I'm looking outside my window and see a huge plume of smoke, wind's coming. I was all right, not too concerned, because it's got to go through so much before it hits me. And like watching Franklin, we had winds and stuff, but it wasn't this bad. And I was like, it got close to us, but still not close enough, right? And it had to go through a lot of structures and a lot of land to get here. That's when my brain goes, I should probably go home.
Wow.
I should probably go home, because again, on Franklin fire, we were in Hawaii. And so I couldn't get the things I needed to get. I couldn't pack the certain things that I needed to pack.
Okay.
And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going home.
So you had a little bit of a learning lesson from that prior experience.
Yeah, it taught me that, like, because, talking to my parents, talking to my brother while I was in Hawaii, trying to coordinate, hey, talk to this person to get this person through, or, it was frustrating because I'm not actually there and deal to handle all this stuff. So that's taught me to go home. Went home, and I soft packed the immediate things that I know would be the hardest to pack, and just sit in my garage, stage them. Cool, my truck's right here, I can put in my garage, hang out.
And what were those things to pack? Because I've always thought of this, and I've asked other people, like, what would be the most essential items to bring if you were to just pack your entire life into a car and, not know if your house would still remain or not?
So it shifted. It shifted from the replaceable things, like some jewelry, and to the personal items at first. everything that I can't replace. You know, like my old game jerseys, my playing jerseys, my helmets, my memorabilia, you know, pictures, cards that I have that you just can't replace, right? Like jewelry and stuff, you can get more, insurance can cover it if they do. You know, statues and things you can kind of whatever. So it was all in a couple bags,
Sure.
a couple bags of clothes.
Yeah.
And I grabbed some of my nicest boots I have. You know,
Right.
Gotta get the Lucchese's, so I grabbed those. Like those are expensive.
Those are important to you.
Those are important. Gotta
Yep.
get Lucchese's and grab a couple of my cowboy hats and threw them in there, and that's kind of it. Because again, thinking, you know, it's not going to push here. It's got so much places it's got to go. It's got to burn through so much. And so then when that happened, back here at the house, got my staging stuff ready. Then I staged my parents what they need to get out. And then my brother what he had, and then we're just watering everything down. And then once it hit,
So how many of you were here watering everything?
the whole family was here. It was my mom, dad, my brother, and then my fiance. She was here as she got out of the Palisades before it got really bad.
Wow.
And we're just, you know, packing things up, getting the dogs ready, putting the dogs, making sure they're all squared away.
Right.
Put it in my mom's car and go, okay, you're good, just go. We'll take care of everything else. Just get the dogs squared away and get them out, right? And then I went up on the roof, taped off all the vents. And then once I'm like, okay, hanging out for a bit, listening to I have fire radios and so listen to the traffic, hearing where it is. And then as soon as it pushed over into Topanga, my brain went from okay to like, this is getting real. This is starting to, and this is pushing fast. It moved from the Palisades to Topanga in a matter of hours, and it's not slowing down at all. These firemen are getting their ass kicked hard when you're battling 60 to 100 mile an hour winds.
Right.
And started watering everything down. Then as the sun came down, clearing up brush, cutting lines on my hillside, clearing up anything that might, clearing off all the brush on top of the roof, and that could catch, right? Again, this is the first time I actually had to really do this, like hard prep for a fire. It's always been like, okay, we're cool. We're getting close. All right, we're gonna chill. But now it's like, okay, I gotta prep. Then I look on my roof again, back up here, just watering everything down. And I see over the hillside, it's just red, orange and red. I don't see any flames, but the whole sky is just open. It's just I've never seen that bright. And I started to smell the smoke heavier, and that's when I knew we're getting close. Just hanging out here because we did all the prep we needed to, and then I started packing my truck, actually back in the cars, instead of staging, actually putting them away. Last minute checks, power cuts, so we're running around in the dark with our headlamps on, grabbing things we might need or forget. And then the sheriffs started coming through our neighborhood and saying, which they'd never done before, you get the alerts on your phone and stuff. They've never actually come up our streets and told you to leave.
Damn.
It's always been like, you know, you get the alert, evacuation notice, but they never had the sheriffs come up and go, you need to leave now, the fire's coming. And because of, you know, our previous experiences, I'm like, I'm gonna stay and fight.
Wow.
I'm gonna stay and fight. I have to. I last time I was powerless and I almost lost my home, almost lost my fiance's house. I gotta stay and fight. So I kind of ignored those, you know, because like, they have to do it for, you know, safety reasons and stuff. And then probably 15 minutes later, I got a call from one of my buddies in the fire brigade. And he calls me, he goes, hey dude, just want you to let you know where you at. And I'm here, I'm in my house. He's like, you have 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
You have 15 minutes, this thing's in your face, nothing is stopping it. If you stay, you may not live. And when he says that, that's like a, okay, we need to leave now. It's everybody, time's up, we're packing up, we're out of here. So I packed up everybody, got my car, drove up, and I went up around the corner and you can see the hillside behind all these houses. And we can walk up there and show where that is.
Sure. So actually a
Hillside.
life and death situation.
I've never experienced something that visceral and that real. Of like, you've always seen it on TV and you've heard about it and you've always seen the fires and ridges, but turning a corner and seeing your entire hillside engulfed in flames, and not like spots, like a literal huge line.
I mean,
of
I can't
fire.
even imagine, because this is all black and burned, just this view of that hillside would be surreal to witness in person.
It was one of the most terrifying.
And it just surrounds us up there.
So, yeah.
I mean, I've seen videos all over the internet, obviously, but it doesn't hit the same when you're actually standing here and in person. It's
Again,
wild.
I was prepared to turn around and maybe see like flyers on the other ridge. You know, okay, come on, we got some time. No, like when I turned the corner, I could feel the heat from the flames. And I said, I'm out. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Saw that, turned around, went down to Duke's down below. I get to the bottom of Duke's, turn around, and it's all on fire. Everything's on fire. And I've just sat there like, you know, your adrenaline's pumping so hard, like you're trying to process thoughts, you're trying to really process what you're seeing, but you're not. I'm seeing my dad just sitting on the stoop of Duke's, just watching in silence, just watching. And that's kind of like sums up what this fire was for everybody, is that you just can't, what are you gonna do? A fire of that force, of that magnitude, coming that fast, can't do anything.
I can't imagine how hard it is just to see your family weeping as well during this whole situation going, especially this being your hometown, your home city. I mean, I grew up in the valley, and I was having, you know, it was hard for me to even see what was going on, and especially because LA is my home as well. So I can't imagine for you when this is directly affecting your street.
Pergola's been destroyed from the winds.
Right. Was anything touched on your home?
Yeah.
Completely?
So that's
first of all, this lot is unbelievable, man. This could be the best ocean view on this entire hill.
Again, my dad had insight, and
awesome.
This is to find a flat property of this size with this ocean view in Malibu.
So, I mean, you said your parents bought this property in the 70s or 80s, and do you know what they got it for, and then what the potential appreciation would be of it now?
I think he paid maybe like $700,000 or $800,000 for it.
Okay.
Burned down 93. So it was a single story back then, burned down 93, along with the house behind mine. Then, you know, after 2, 3, 4 years of litigation for the insurance company, we finally able to rebuild here. And rebuilt on the same property, built a bigger house. And it's been here since, I think, 94, 95.
And I think that's just what a lot of people don't realize, that is that a lot of the homes that did burn down were people that have been living in there for decades, and it's not just homes of the rich like you see here in Malibu, because this is truly a family home that's been passed down and for decades.
My fiance is a second generation Malibuian too. So we both born and raised in Malibu, grew up in Malibu, and we still live here in Malibu. And I can tell you, neither of us, even if we were making more than we are now, we'd never be able to afford a home like this. I mean, you just couldn't. Not only to actually buy the house, but to afford the taxes. Property tax, HOA, just the state tax, like all these different taxes that California has. You got to be just insanely rich, and which is not a majority of Malibu. A majority of Malibu are surfers, bums who've been here. Old haggard cowboys who they still have horse hitches. So that's a majority of Malibu is this just old generational guys who have these small condos, who have these small homes they've had since the 80s or the 70s. Because Malibu is a magical place. I love it to death, so I'm still here.
Right.
But it's like if this house went, we'd all have to go. There'd be no way we'd be able to stay here. There wouldn't be. As much as we'd want to, you would not be able to do it. Mm-hmm. And if you did do it, you're going to be struggling so much financially to just keep it. I got lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones. There's burns all over my house. Like the whole backside burned. One of the palm trees in the back burned.
Yeah, can we go see over there? So, I mean, this is the backyard that you grew up in. I'm sure you had a lot of events, maybe birthdays, and so many childhood memories back here.
I love throwing barbecues and parties here because I love to host. I love to cook for people, and I'd have 30, 40 people all the time, cooking, having a good time, drinking, playing in the pool, just enjoying being blessed to have this house in this area and sharing it. And now we won't be able to do that for months, if ever.
When do you think it'll be time for you guys to be able to move back in here? And I mean, it's obviously the air is still very toxic out here.
We have to clean the whole outside of the house. Everything that's cotton or fabric inside the house has got to be replaced or cleaned deeply because of the toxins and everything. So still don't have power, still don't have water, no gas either. So they just saw down the street. They're still putting poles in, so it's going to be probably a month, 2 months, maybe 3 months. Wouldn't shock me at all. Right. It's just, they take a long time. The whole underside of this palm tree burned.
Wow.
This burned down. Oh my gosh. This bush caught.
I don't know if that pool is swimmable right now.
Yeah, that's the thing is the pool's got to be completely redone. I mean, it's just there's this soot and chemicals in here. I had to put all this out the morning of when I came back. I'm out there humping the water and stuff. All our bushes burned. This whole tree burned up and all along the underside of our fence line. I mean, we got lucky. We got so unbelievably lucky to still have a home to go to and protect.
That's awesome, man.
But
you got someone watching over you guys. That is very fortunate, but also unfortunate. Oh my gosh.
So I tell people all the time is that I'm a devout believer in Christ, and the night of, and we're leaving. We're leaving. I was in my driveway, and just my brother, me, and Ava, my fiance, and I was in the driveway, and said a prayer. I just go, Lord, I said, your home, you gave it to us. It's yours to take. It's yours to take. Surrendering the house. This is yours to take. If you take it, it's by your will. And I said a prayer and packed up and left and got on Dukes, and I'm just like in complete dismay because everything's on fire. Everything's on fire, and I don't even know what I'm thinking, because I'm thinking like, do we go to Ava's and prep her house? Do we just stay here and watch? And we eventually left and went to Ava's, and I come back and keep trying to come back to get to my house that night, just to see it and know my house is still standing or not, or if it is, if I can fight it. And I come around one of the bends that you saw earlier, and before I saw my house, a voice told me, as clear as day, my anxiety left real quickly and said, you're okay. You're okay. You're going to be okay. Come around the bend, and I could see my palm trees, and everything is dark, and it's red all around it. I call my mom, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. She's like, you know, I just know. I think we're okay. It's dark. I can see my palm trees. It's dark. I think we're okay. She's like, okay. And so, you know, and then I went home and kept coming back to try and check, and it kept staying dark, and I finally went back to Ava's and slept for maybe 45 minutes. And then it was like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. I get a text from my brother that one of our neighbors is at the house. And he goes, he says it's still standing. And this comes in the where I was getting arrested. And he goes, I think the house is still there. I said, I'm going. And so I get in my truck, I barrel down PCH. There's a CHP roadblock. I blow right past that. And he gave me like kind of like what the f*** you doing? And he pulled me over right at the literally bottom of my street with 2 sheriffs behind me, and they're all pissed off, and which again, rightfully so. I just don't know who I am, what I'm doing, where I'm going. Give my ID. I'm like, I'm going to my house. It's my house up there. It's still standing. I got to fight it. He's like, whoa, no. I'm like, here's my ID. I'm going to my house. If you're going to arrest me, go arrest me on my lawn. And so then they followed me up to my house, and they kind of saw like, okay, I lived here. The neighbor knew who I was, and you know, again, everything was still on fire. The hillside was still burning a bit. The backside was burning, and he hands me my ID. He goes, okay, good luck, man. Don't die. And then left. And for the next 2 days, I just fought all these spot fires. One of the community members, Emmett, he's a good buddy of mine. You know, we smoke cigars, drink whiskey, and he's a Malibu boy too. You know, local as part of the community brigade, which has been huge, saving homes and being part of it. Right. Park my truck, get out, get a huge bucket, dump in water down there, and I get up to go help Majid, my neighbor, go put some fires out in his property. And as I walk up, Emmett is just walking down not knowing, like me, I'm home. He's just checking houses because he's in this neighborhood. And it was so good to see a face that I know. And I just grabbed him and embraced him. He smelled like shit. He's covered in dirt, but it felt so good to grab and hold somebody that I knew. And it'd be great to see a fireman, but to see that like a community brigade member face that I knew personally gave me so much confidence, just the ability to go, we got this.
Oh my gosh.
We got this. And he was with me. He filled up his tanks. He was fighting fires here with me. He was fighting fires in the neighbor's house. He was putting everything out he could. And, you know, so that's why it's like, if I didn't see him, I would have been kind of maybe a little bit, panic a bit, because there's no fireman here. But he was here. He goes, I got you. I'm going to get an engine up here. We're going to get you squared away. And so like we saved it. We saved these homes, and you know, and rebuild happens.
Nice.
So
thanks for sharing that, man. That's incredible.
You know, one night we had to cook a dinner over a tiny little camp stove. It's one night we had to do, and make some fried eggs that we had. Oh, feel like you find this like. All the ash. That blew in. That's what happens, right? So this is what happens when the house is burned. You make mistakes, the door wasn't locked during the fire, 100-mile-an-hour winds kicked it in, and then you have all this ash. Everything that's black was on fire. And it was just, I've never experienced something. I could feel the heat. I stepped out of my car to get a better shot, and I could feel the heat from this fire front. It was insane.
How far did you drive up this hill when the fire was going on?
This is right as far as I went. There's a sheriff right there, and he was like, basically like, stupid? I was like, yes, I am. I'm getting out of here. So I then popped a Yui and went down to Duke's. Hope to see my home next morning. And this is the place. Her house was smoking, but still standing. And this whole canyon is just, jeez. This will all slide on a huge rain day too, which is our next, fun adventure. 93, never rebuilt.
Whoa. So because all these homes haven't rebuilt, do you think
Burned.
it's just going to stay like that? What's the future look like for this?
If 50% of what Malibu and the Palisades is burned down, if 50% are rebuilt within 5 years, I'd be kind of shocked. This is a huge rehab facility and retreat, completely burned down. Standing home. Actually, there's 2 houses in the entire little cul-de-sac. His car burned down though. Whoa. It was like a little Mini Cooper.
I'm sure you have no plans of leaving, or
what
are your thoughts when it comes to just staying in Malibu, or your hopes for Malibu? Just because it's just crazy that this is your hometown.
I don't know. Malibu for the next 3-4 years, I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be, all the businesses. I don't know what's happening to businesses, if they'll be able to survive not having the traffic from the Palisades, not having traffic from Malibu.
It's wild to me that the fire came this far, because just from looking at everything in the news, I just thought
these all burned down.
Oh my gosh. Majority seemed like the Palisades, but it went this deep into the hills of Malibu. Oh my god. That's a great lot too. It's a great property.
This house completely burned down, and the Prius just hanging out.
Yeah, what the heck?
I don't know if that's actually still been there, but it's just like, why doesn't that burn? Or why don't those trash cans burn? Why does this post not burn? The house is gone, but his mailbox is untouched, right?
Right.
Look at the paint is just perfect. They're called wildfires for a reason, because they do what the hell they want, when they want, and how they want.
Right. This house seems like it was just built,
Yeah.
and it looks like it was completely untouched.
Yeah, and the hillside's fine, and your neighbor is just to the ground.
So obviously every home that's gonna be rebuilt will have to be fire resistant, and there will be new measures in place when it comes to the building of these new homes.
I hope so. This has been a huge wake-up call for a lot of people. There are measures, there are things you can take to harden your home, because these fires happen every 3 to 5 years of this magnitude. This was just the reservoir stopped being filled, and 100-mile-an-hour winds with the right spark at the right time, and the resources not in place. It's just a perfect storm. The culture of Malibu and the Palisades are going to change forever. Because there are going to be people who can't afford to come from out of country or out of state and buy these homes, and they'll turn them into vacation houses and vacation homes, which is, I want Malibu to be that. I want Malibu to be the small surfer town. Exactly. I want it to be where everybody knows each other. It's still a small town. Yeah. It might be on the coast and very affluent, but I want it to be a small town. I want it to keep Malibu.
Right. That'd be great. Yeah, hopefully in 10, 15 years it could get back to that town.
A lot of people do have second homes in Malibu and in the Palisades, of course, as any affluent and wealthy neighborhood, but it doesn't make it easier. This is a little shopping center gone. You can see the salon.
Wow. Every single home on the left
gone. This is the beach club. That just the main building survived. Everything else burned.
Hillside.
I think they said it was 80 to 90% structure loss in these hills. Arcade station still worked. You can see this palm tree here. The whole trunk burned.
Whoa.
You see it's black. Looks like it got a haircut.
Totally black. It's bald. That garage survived. Wow, the left side looks crazy. You can just see straight through to the ocean. Wow.
So that picture from the water, I was literally in that guy's yard, took a picture from there.
Oh, that's where that photo was from.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Prevent wildfires, that's crazy.
It was wild to see that sign say extreme when this is literally all on fire.
Went from house to house to house to house, all the way this deep from Santa Monica practically. Can't even fathom the distance and the ground it covered. 24,000 acres, right?
Yeah. And I mean, the fire started at what, I don't know what time it started on that Tuesday or whatever it was, and within 24 hours, less than that, it would burn all the way here.
Story and situation with the cats you said you rescued.
So I, much as I love to take credit, and Ava, my fiance, wants to give me credit, I didn't really have much to do with it. She was she just lost her cat about maybe 6 months ago. But she's got a soft spot for animals, as we all do, but she really has a soft spot for animals. And she saw on someone's post, or one of her friends say that they saw an orange cat on one of the houses that were still standing at PCH. And so then she DMing people, texting people, hey, you know what this house? She was texting me, hey, can you go to this house, check it out? Can you go see whatever? And I'm currently fighting, fires at my place. I'm like, if I can, I will, but I don't know. And kept on it. And she had this thing called Frost Fund, is a nonprofit organization that goes for abandoned animals and rescues a lot of animals, wildlife and stuff. And then they got a report that one of the firemen saw it, so that they tried to get it one time, but it didn't come because it's just been traumatized and scared. And so then eventually a fireman came back, was able to scoop the cat up, and then brought it to Ava. After we brought it to the vet first, had it checked, because it's traumatized, and brought it to Ava and me and her when we were the foster parents. And I can't imagine what this little guy went through, of all the homes around you burning. It was found in this hoarder's home with rats around it, and it was just complete neglect. When it just wanted to be loved. And it broke my heart of this cat, it looked young and it's probably a year or two old, and it just wanted to be cared for and loved. And Ava gave it to it, and it just completely was whatever you want to do to me, you can do it. I just want you touching me, I want you loving me, I want you just caring for me and keeping him safe. And then we found out there's a second one there that they couldn't find, another guy saw, and eventually a couple days later, one of the other firemen and they trapped it. And they got to the vet, and this poor thing had burns on its sides, half its tail was scorched. There's burns all over the place, so it had to have surgery. We called him a chicken butt because it was all shaved on his butt, so it was a little chicken butt, but he had sutures and stuff, and it is again the same instance. The cat, you put your hand to it, and it was so wanting and needing of just love. So sad to see that these animals could be abandoned and left. Whatever reason happened, maybe they couldn't get to the cat or they couldn't find it. Trying to throw judgment, but it's I can't imagine these two little dudes experienced when their whole world is literally on fire. Their pads, their hands were burned, and it's just she every night would give it medication and put Neosporin on it and just hold it and just give it love. Positives that the Franklin fire brought us is that you can see this is all burn scars from the Franklin fire. And the Palisades fire stopped right at the burn scars. So if Franklin didn't happen when it happened, this may not have been standing. I mean, that fire was coming hot and just pushing, and nothing was standing in front of it. So that's one of the upsides of the Franklin fire, is that it gave us a very natural barrier that protected this entire town. But yeah, Malibu will rebuild.
Yeah, that's great.
Malibu's going to be Malibu. It's going to have a heart and soul that hopefully never changes. It's going to be different. If I have anything to do about it, I'm going to be in Malibu as long as I can, hold it down, and because this is my home. This is my neighbors. This is my community. These are my friends.
I love that. Yeah, this is your town. That's incredible.
It's a magical place, and it's, again, that's why me and Ava are still here. We're second generation, hopefully to bring third generation coming through, but it will be okay. We'll figure it out. It's going to change, but Malibu's going to be Malibu.
Thanks for sharing all of that, your entire story. I'm sure a lot of people would be able to relate to, although a Malibu could be very unrelatable, just in a sense of people that aren't from here or know exactly what Malibu is like, they can definitely relate to your story and just how you really appreciate your town, your neighbors, and how you care for everyone around you and all the people. But yeah, before we wrap up, how did the story with the cats and the rescue end?
Yeah, so Ava rescued both of them with the Frost Fund, and I don't like her name, Claudia. I'm gonna get tagged, and Ava's gonna yell at me, but it's okay. Our friendly show, I should know her name, full name, but they were awesome. They rescued the cats. They pulled them out of they burned paws, burned sides, surgery that just traumatized cats, and she gave them nothing but love. Frost Fund was paying for a lot of the funds just to keep the cats alive. Right. But unfortunately, we had to surrender them back to the vet because the big cat, brother cat, he's got, the sutures are opening up because they're cats and they're just sneaky. And so, but they're with a vet now at a medical facility being taken care of. And,
amazing.
We hope and pray that we might be able to adopt them because they were just amazing cats. They're such loving cats, and they deserve to have a household that just gives them nothing but love.
100%, especially after all the trauma that they've faced and gone through. I think that's one thing a lot of people, that hasn't been in the news as much, or all the animals and the situation with them, that's just one thing you haven't heard too much about. So that's amazing that you guys were able to rescue a couple cats after going through all that trauma. I just, it's like, but it's funny is that those guys helped us kind of walk through every day because having their joy, they were life inside the condo. Of we come home and Tiny Cat, the little one, that was mainly okay. He had some burns on his hands, but he was just happy to see us. He'd sit right in our lap and just give us love and vice versa. And it was coming home to know that we saved this little guy's life, and he's just grateful to be alive. It's dude, I'll do anything for you, bro. What's up? I'm not even a cat guy. I'm what do you want to do? What do you need? We'll make it happen. Awesome. I love the names you gave the cats as well. You got what, Tiny Cat and
Tiny Cat,
Brother
Cat. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Dylan, thank you so much for
Pleasure,
sharing your
man.
story and everything. Is there anything else you'd want to leave the viewers with? Everything you said was extremely inspirational. Really appreciate you showing us your home, your city, your town. It's been amazing.
It's times like this that are tough, but the tough get going, and Malibu we will rebuild. Community will come together. And it's organizations that again, any firefighter and first responder, sheriffs who laid their lives down and were putting on the line to save our homes and community. I cannot thank enough, but especially the community brigade. I mean, those dudes, like I said with Emmett, the story of Emmett, seeing a face that I know personally that is, I'd love to see a fireman, but seeing a face I know personally gave me the courage and the, wits to go, I can tackle this. We're going to take this together. This is not going to take my home. It's not going to take my neighbor's house. We're going to fight this thing. And we did. And we fought it. And it's because of those guys that continued to check on me and make sure I was okay. And so I just leave it with that. Keep praying for Malibu. Mm-hmm. Keep praying for the Palisades. Keep praying for Altadena. Anyone's affected by fires, just give them love. If you can't donate or give them money, or you can't give them clothes, or because you are in a financial bind, don't really feel obligated to. But if you can help clean up stuff from their house, or just lay hands on them and just be a person in their life that goes, I'm with you. That can go a lot more than maybe a couple bucks.
Definitely. Again, I think LA will eventually get back to what it was, if not potentially better. I hope, at least we can hope, being native Angelinos. And it's going to be guys like you that really will help LA skyrocket. I mean, you're a great dude, man. I appreciate that, and I'm just happy to be alive. I'm just blessed to have a home still and able to do what I can, and hopefully during the next one, we learn and we get better, and we save more homes, and we save more lives. That's the whole point. It's you can rebuild a home that easily. You can rebuild a home, but it's hard to rebuild a life. So let's save lives and just stay for each other. So, Well, thank you, Dylan. Appreciate you for sharing your story. I'm sure it'll inspire a lot of people out there.